I don't think I've been able to get that song in my head for 2 years now. When did it come out?
1 year ago.
Was it?
No, but I was trying to freak out.
Oh, okay. Oh, that it was already in my head before I started.
Yeah, I've been reading a bit of Goosebumps again lately.
You have?
Yeah, it's good.
Remind everyone how old you are.
Me, 30.
No, the other bloke behind you.
Oh.
So you still have Goosebumps in your possession?
No, I bought Goosebumps for my younger brother for his birthday, like a box set of them. He hasn't read any of them, so I decided, fuck it, I'll read them. And they're great. I am now. Have you heard that thing that we're apparently you're not touching things? Like, matter doesn't touch, it just feels like there's a space between it or something?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
how it works or anything like that, but
Well,
I've heard that.
It makes sense, I guess, on a kind of a conceptual level. Did you just spill coffee on yourself?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
I like these pants.
On your mustard trousers?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's What's the Go? My name's Stu. This is Monty.
It is. He pointed at me, but you can't see that.
No, but I also pointed at you vocally.
Yep, I suppose.
Well,
Is that vocal point? Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is that something... have you ever said that before?
What, vocal pointing?
Yeah, have you alluded to a vocal point before?
Well, no, if I say this is something, then there's an expectation that the next thing that they hear will be the thing that I'm referring to, surely.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's called vocal pointing. Well, it can be, I suppose.
Well, it's pointing with my voice, so I reckon the term is apt.
Did you know dogs are the only animal that understand pointing, other than humans?
Really?
Every other animal will look to the hand. Dogs are the only ones that understand that we're going for something the other direction.
Right.
Yeah, cats don't get it. Stupid cats. It's funny.
I wonder why that is, firstly, and also wonder why that was studied.
I assume there was like a bunch of kind of old school, like Darwin kind of folk who were trying to show all these animals which way to the cages, and they just wouldn't go. Except the dogs. Did you know, I heard something about Darwin the other day that really changed my opinion of him. I think we've talked about this before, maybe not on this podcast, but not only was he cataloguing all the animals he found, he was trying to eat one of everything he found. Did you know that?
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah.
I have heard that.
So he's out here eating Galapagos turtles and shit.
I think it's interesting that Charles Darwin looks quite apish.
I think he was looking into his own family.
I think that's how it all came about.
He was like, how the fuck did I get to me? Do you reckon he was the link?
Well, chimps seem overly kind of enamoured of him.
Did
And you
chimps...
wonder why that is. And then you look like, let's say they had, you looked in a mirror and went, God damn.
Were you just before that questioning if they had mirrors then? Because...
I know, and then I realised they've had them for centuries.
But also, I don't understand what mirror is. What is mirror?
Well, a mirror centuries ago was just a kind of
Polished metal?
shiny metal surface.
What about the mirror we think of today? What is that? What substance is that? Mirror? Is mirror a substance?
I know we're a tangential sport podcast, but we can't tangent over to science that much that I can answer all your questions.
That's fair. That's fair. If anybody knows what mirrors are, please write in to whatsthego@gmail.com. .au?
No. What's the go at outlook.com?
Outlook? No, that's the thing we use to read the emails.
I would like people to do the socials, though. Like, as in follow us and then talk to us.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Follow us on all our different social media accounts. Please.
It's What's the Go? It's the Tangential Sport Podcast, as you probably already figured out. Monty, are you all right, apart from having just spilled a bit of coffee on your mustard trousers?
Yeah, I'm all right. I wouldn't call them mustard. I'd call... now that I look at them, yeah, they're pretty mustard, I suppose.
Some sport headlines, Monty. Strangely enough, I've got some written down here. Do you want to hear some?
I'd love to. Thank you, Stuart.
Well, you helped me write them, so you probably know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say. Well, then should we just go?
Yeah, let's go. Queensland hosting the AFL Grand Final for the first time ever, and it's going to be a nighttime Grand Final.
I'm a little weirded out by that.
Which bit?
Firstly, picking Queensland. Do Queensland feel like... I mean, Brisbane Lions, sure. Gold Coast Suns. But are they the least AFL state in the country?
Ooh. Well, I guess so. They've got an equal amount of teams as New South Wales do.
Yeah.
All right. Richmond Tigers fighting over a kebab out in the street.
Where?
Oh, in front of a strip club.
Where?
Oh,
Gold Coast.
Oh, Gold Coast. Oh,
Gold Coast, mate. Where else?
yeah.
Australia's Florida.
The anomaly that is the Gold
Yeah.
Coast.
Yeah, I know, that was silly. So, I don't know too much about it, but it sounds like they went to the strippers, then they got kicked out of the strippers, maybe?
Maybe.
Or they just left the strippers, but then they wanted a kebab, and then they started punching on.
Yeah. Well,
There's a couple of steps missing there.
all that's fair enough. I'm sure for them as well.
Yeah,
But
fair.
that's all fair enough, isn't it? It's all just heightened because of COVID. If there was no COVID going on, they could punch on over a kebab out the street. No one would blink a bloody eye.
What do you reckon the punch on was about? One got tomatoes on his thing or the wrong sauce or something?
Well, I mean, I heard that it was because the kebab was knocked out of the hand.
Ah, well, why is this even news? That's fair, that's fine.
It is. Yeah.
So one drunken idiot knocked the kebab out of his mate's hand and he gave him a twat on the face.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I assume it's true. I haven't heard any counter theories.
No, I like assuming everything I hear in the news is correct.
Yeah, no, I'm meaning to talk to you about some of the stuff you've been listening to as well. Got some weird ideas lately.
Yeah, that's all right.
Speaking of Tigers,
Ah, look at you, king of the segways.
I'm going to move over to the other Tigers.
Yeah,
and
Segway king.
bit of chaos going on over there. On top of, obviously, Marshall leaving, people asking whether Maguire's too rough. He's a rough bloke. We don't want to be. We don't want everyone yelling at us. We don't want everybody training us hard. And then in the bloody Manly game, despite the fact there's a second half resurgence by the Tigers, they come to win. Who didn't see it? Bloody Josh Reynolds and Russell Packer, who left at half time.
You know why they left at half time?
Kebab?
They were too cold.
Really?
That's the excuse they're giving. What a fucking crock, bro.
It wasn't even cold in Sydney on Saturday.
What the fuck are they talking about? Neither of them have much hair. Oh, does Reynolds have hair now? Reynolds might have hair. But Packer looks fucking like he'd be warm all the time. Looks like he runs hot, in fact.
Yeah. Look, it's very weird. I wouldn't call that the norm in a harmonious team.
No.
Also, a lot of the old Tigers have started piping up going, that's not good enough, get rid of them.
Yep. Benny Elias was one of those, backdoor Benny.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really shown us this is the year for the old players to come in and start telling people how their old club should be run.
Who else has been doing that? What else?
Broncos.
Yeah,
all year.
Broncos
Old Broncos
no one will
players.
shut up. Yeah.
Been saying how Broncos should be run. So I just think this is a year that opens the floodgates of old players just piping up, telling their clubs. I don't want to hear what Wayne Bartram wants the Gold Coast to do next.
That's
You know what I
exactly
mean?
where I was going to go with that. Well done. I was
Yeah.
trying to think of Wayne Bartram's name.
I don't want to know what Peter Gill
Oh,
wants
wow.
the Gold Coast to do next.
Wow.
I don't want to hear what Bronco Jura wants South to do.
Look, this is great. Keep going. What do you got?
St. John Ellis.
Okay.
He can play for the Tigers at some point. I think
What
he might
about
have.
what was that? Dallas.
Brett Dallas?
Yeah, Brett Dallas. Yeah.
Norths.
Norths.
Well,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
tell Norths what to do.
There we go.
Tell them how to put their
exactly.
pitch in to get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
into the competition.
Yeah, go to the Central Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You're a Tigers fan. Do you want to see Reynolds and Packer punted or what?
No, I like Packer.
Do you?
It's that funny thing. I like him when he plays, but I found he's played 6 games in 2 years or something like that. Like, he barely ever plays. Reynolds, I don't think he fits. Like, it's a good experiment. It's not...
Can you name... Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you name me an NRL club where he slots in where you go, perfect, that's the role for him. That's the club for him. That's the position for him.
Reynolds?
Yeah.
Reynolds now or Reynolds 2 years ago when he was better? Like when we got him.
Well, I'm asking you Reynolds now because 2 years ago... Not kind of...
It's not now, I suppose.
No, we're
Reynolds
trying to
now
problem
fits
solve
in.
them now.
Yeah, I reckon he'd fit in with St George.
Yeah? Where? Like a halfback?
Halfback, yeah.
Really? Still in league, SBW came on and played for 13 minutes, and it was a bloody amazing 13 minutes from, if you believe everybody on social media ever.
Well, we discussed this before. I believe anything I read, so
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like he's amazing and back. What's the go? So he plays to the end of the season. Does he get a ring if they win?
What's the go?
Nice,
Well
I did
done.
it again. Nice,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Accident.
Does he get a ring if he plays,
Yeah.
if they win the granny and he's played 5 games or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why not?
Has he got one before?
Yeah.
For who?
Roosters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Griffo is going to coach the Dragons. Pretty mixed feelings about this. Also, it came out in the week. Someone did a bit of a deep dive on his socials.
Uh-oh.
He likes a fair bit of kind of right-wing One Nation-y kind of gear. I don't know. I assume that's safe to be believed.
St. George?
Yeah. All right, let's leave league to the side. Joker hits a ball at a woman's throat.
Yeah. Did you see the footage?
Yeah. It looked like somebody who was trying to make something deliberate look accidental.
Wow. Yeah. Kind of
Don't
did.
you think?
Yeah. Do you think...
Why would you need to hit the ball like that towards people?
Well, apparently he's got form. He hits it to the back, right? When he
Right.
gets angry, he smashes a ball at the back of the thing.
But I've seen people do that. Don't they usually kind of hit it into the ground so it kind of bounces up?
Yeah.
Rather than
a
a full,
at the throat.
full throat shot?
Yeah. I quite liked how people, like other players, were saying he was really unlucky to get suspended because that's the rules of that particular major tournament.
Right.
He's not unlucky. He just shouldn't have hit the ball at his throat. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. I assume he's not that bad of a dude. I think Joker gets a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I mind him overly. Like,
I heard an interesting theory as to why he gets a bad rap.
Oh, yeah?
So he's been in a trio of stars for the last nearly 20 years now, 17 years? So him, Nads, and Federer.
Yeah.
And you got to think that Federer and Nadal, Federer potentially the most loved sportsman of all time. Like, absolutely adored, never sets a foot wrong.
Yeah. Pat Rafter is pretty loved.
There you go. Pat Rafter is pretty loved.
Maybe not as universally.
Not as, no. And Nadal, who, like, not as loved, but is definitely not hated, other than the, weird clicks and the hungry bum and stuff like that. Yeah. But Djokovic seems to be the one that people dislike out of all of these.
Yeah. Is it because he has such a long head?
He's got a weird head, and he doesn't care about COVID. He just plays through COVID.
Yeah.
That's kind of. But no, the thought was that Switzerland, pretty together country. Neutral, stays out of stuff.
Well,
Spain,
to some degree.
Since Franco and stuff, they've been pretty chill. It's all right.
Since Franco, they've been chill.
But Joker, Serbian, comes from a recent troubled past.
Yeah.
Maybe he has demons.
All right. So his warry days of his country aren't far enough behind.
Exactly.
I just think it's because he's got a long head and a bad attitude.
I think his attitude's all right. I feel sorry for him.
Okay.
How tall do you reckon he is?
I don't know. Why do you hit that woman in the throat is the question I really want answered.
Well, that's about my tall thing. If he was a bit shorter, I probably would have hit her in the chest.
Is that better?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right. Do you think she and I'm not saying what I
milked it? You think she milked it? Dived. Simulation.
Yeah. Like someone trying to extract a penalty in the NRL for a crusher tackle.
Simulation.
I'm not saying... I don't know either way. I don't have a thought either way. Do you?
No, but I like that you've brought it up. I like when people do that. I don't have a thought either way, but what about this?
Bring
what
up
about
something that's not actually being discussed.
And then say, I don't think that. Yeah, exactly. No,
that's
I like that. Oh, maybe she dived. That's fine. Whatever. It's her right to do so. She got hit in the throat with a tennis ball.
Yeah, but he's kicked out of the tournament. That's pretty big punishment.
He shouldn't hit a tennis ball at her throat.
Yeah, I agree.
To be fair, I saw the hit. It didn't look like it would hurt my throat if it hit me in the throat.
That's what I think. I thought, look, that's just a tennis ball. I also went, but that's one of the best players in the world. He'd have a bit of grunt behind that.
What's his serve? You reckon his serve's like 200 or something Ks? That'd hurt you.
Yeah, I know. But also, like, I don't know. Maybe she's particularly weak-throated.
Yeah. Do you remember that ball boy who gave that bloke the balls and then was running back, then went fucking
face first
into the wall? Yeah. And the guy looked back and the kid was like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, he didn't take a dive.
Yeah, he didn't go down. No, he could have got that guy kicked right out of the tournament.
And did she leap back up as soon as he was kicked out of the...
No, have you seen the photos? Are great. They must have got this one photo at the exact right time where she's looking at him like he's, about to beat her more.
like that Ariana Grande photo where she's looking back over at the big wing on her back. All right, you don't know what I'm talking about. Other people will. Alex de Minaur doing all right, though, right?
Yeah, but no one knows because no one's watching the US Open. Except now that old mate throated that chick. So
see if there's any more throating to be had.
yeah, exactly. de Minaur needs to get in on the action. Yeah, good on him, bro. Like, he's an Aussie. He's doing well. It's be an asterisk tournament, but whatever. Like, everyone's talking about these asterisks in sports this year. You can only do what's in front of you, right? Like,
That's it.
there's
That's
no
the field. The field is the field.
Yeah, there's no... You can't... Yeah, you didn't... Yeah, exactly.
We should get up, like, a really fancy image, right, to go along with this podcast to promote it.
Yeah.
A really fancy kind of border, nice and kind of... The field is the field. Stuart Buckland.
Love
Just
it.
a beautiful quote.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
NFL starts this week. You don't think it's going to last a distance?
This is why I suggested we talk about this. This is, I think, the hardest undertaking of any sport in the world so far, for a few reasons. First of all, the squads are super large. I think there's 58 men or 56 men on an NFL squad, plus
Sexist.
plus a lot of staff and stuff like that, right? And then the second thing is it's in America, and they don't seem to be doing so good with COVID as it is.
Are they playing NFL in America this year?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They're not playing there. Usually each year they play one game in London and one game in Mexico. Mexico and London both said, nah, not this year, dude. Like, you ain't bringing that COVID ship over here.
Spain, though.
Spain? Well, are they far enough removed from the Franco stuff? Is that... what do you reckon? You reckon they get through all the games? It's a 16-round season. They have given up. They usually play 4 preseason games. They said, no, that's too dangerous.
Well, let me ask you this, in lieu of actually answering myself.
Yeah, nice. You're being weird today.
Does it matter who wins the presidency as to whether the season will make it, i.e. the policies that will be enacted thereafter? Not that they do much until January.
I was going to say, yeah, they're not inaugurated till about Super Bowl. So, no.
Right, so it's all Trump influenced
policy.
until then.
Yeah, I believe they've gotten rid of the anthem now, so that the anthem, the players are in the locker room, so they don't have the chance to kneel, or they can kneel, but no one can see them, I believe.
Right. And then what? But no dressing room cameras?
No, that's something that I was thinking about that the other day. That's very unique to Australia.
Dressing room cameras.
The dressing room camera. I've never seen it in any other sport.
Look, I haven't played sport for a long time.
Yeah.
But the dressing room, when I did, the dressing room was kind of sacred. That's just for you and your team.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised that NRL gets to put cameras in there. And AFL.
AFL go even further. AFL have that weird part of the dressing room where there's almost a fence in there, and then the public seem to be able to come in afterwards.
Oh, right, and they've got kind of special cameras that even reach into that little back corner of the dressing room where they stick their fingers in each other's bums and touch each other's cocks.
Richmond, you're talking Richmond.
Yeah. Richmond again. They touch each other's kebabs.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good.
Well, buff.
And that guy's always hanging out in there too. Who's that? The Channel 7 commentator that he just seems to only be in the dressing rooms.
BT.
Is it BT? I think it's BT. yeah, he's a creepy looking dude. You wouldn't want to find him in there. I don't think we're getting through. You want to have a bet? We'll have a bet now. How many rounds of the NFL do you think we get before
How many did you say there were?
There's 16.
10.
I reckon we get 4 in and then something happens.
But what is something? That's not much of a bet. You saying something will happen.
I think in 4 rounds' time, at least one game will be cancelled from that round.
Yeah, squad of 58. It's plenty of opportunity, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So how does this work? I got to pay you if it's in the 4th round?
Well, let's not do a pay thing. Maybe something we can do on the podcast.
All right. Something embarrassing.
Yeah, that's always funny.
If I get my packet out, though, you're the only one who's going to be able to see it.
I was thinking about maybe shaving an eyebrow, but then I was also like, only you can see it.
All right, write in.
Yeah, write
What's
in.
something embarrassing we can do on the podcast that you can appreciate as well.
So, but what's the bet now, though? I just think it's going to happen in round 4, and you think round 10? So anything before round 10, I win?
How about, before round 10, you win? No. Let's split it. Let's split it in half.
Sucker.
8.
Okay, pre-8 I get. So why do you have faith in them? Why are you betting against me?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're doing this just for betting against each other.
Yeah, I don't know. contrariness, I guess.
Write in if anyone wants to take that bet. Just let me know.
All right. Sam Kerr, she scored the first goal of the year for Chelsea. You made a great point earlier. Is she the best Australian athlete at the moment?
Is she the best Australian athlete, or like the most kind of high profile, doing amazing things that just is not getting any play over here?
But is that a sexism thing, or is it just a we're not that interested in football overseas thing?
Yeah, it's probably combo of the two. If we had an Australian man playing for Chelsea who scored their first goal of the season and looked like he'd go on to score a lot of goals, similar to Sam Kerr, I think he'd be huge news.
But where?
In Australia.
In the news bulletins.
Yeah, the newspaper, what do you mean? You know where we receive news.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm asking you is, like, when are you making it news-wise these days?
I don't know. I'm confused by a question. I suppose we'd be talking about it more?
Yeah, but it's not like Play of the Day on Sports Tonight, because there's no Sports Tonight anymore.
No.
Where is it? Where does it have to be for you to go, that made the news?
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think it's more... It's a vibe. It's a general feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we all know Daniel Ricciardo, and you feel like, yeah, he's an Australian on the big stage. But you don't go, Sam Kerr.
Yeah, but I also don't feel I hear that much about Ricciardo.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a weird debate we're in now.
No, I know. It feels like we're taking contrary positions for no particular reason again.
I think we've done that also, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I get it. You much prefer Ricciardo to Sam Kerr, hey?
Yeah,
like you.
Of course. Sub-Zero's dead.
Oh, I know, that's upsetting.
But also, I know Sub-Zero was a good horse and won the Melbourne Cup that time, right?
I think that was the first horse I bet on. Like, I think my father said, here, you can choose a horse, and I think I chose Sub-Zero. So I think that's why he holds a special place for me.
I might be showing my age. Empire Rose was the first that I put a bet on.
Was that against Farlap? That's an age joke.
But my question is, why is there such love for Sub-Zero particularly? He only won once, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think it could have been any Melbourne Cup winning horse that died.
Again, why is it news? Surely Melbourne Cup winners die all the time.
Well, I don't think so. That's what I'm getting at.
Why not?
Well, because there's not many of them.
They're fucking immortal or something. What are you saying?
That when they die, I think they get just as big a news as Sub-Zero.
Do they?
Well, Google it up. Find out who the last horse...
I can't remember.
Who was the last Melbourne Cup winner to die?
But I'm talking to you from the perspective of what I see on the news, which is what's important. I don't remember seeing any other Melbourne Cup winners die for years.
Well, let's have a look. Maybe one hasn't died for years. Maybe that's what's going on.
What are you going to look up? When did Melbourne Cup horses die last?
I'm looking up Melbourne Cup winners, and hopefully it has a birth and death date for each of these.
It sounds complicated. I don't know if you're going to find what you're looking for.
It's fucking the Sport of Kings, bro. They have all the info you need. Oh, it's a book too. List of Melbourne Cup winners. Here we go. This is what you wanted, isn't it? Now we get it. Okay. So, all right. Holy shit. Melbourne Cup went on for a while, hey? The first one was in 1861.
Yeah. Bloody Mark Twain came out and looked at
Mark Twain?
Yeah.
I think I've heard that before. So what, you're waiting for a Maccabi Diva to knock off her?
No, I'm just saying, like, Sub-Zero won the Melbourne Cup a long time ago.
How about this?
It's not surprising he's dead.
Saintly won in 1996.
Yeah.
Saintly died in 2016. Do you remember?
No.
We had that state funeral. Everyone took the day off. You don't remember that?
Everyone ate IKEA meatballs in solidarity.
Oh, that's rough.
Look, rather than you trying to prove me wrong by looking at your phone for a long time,
it's not going to help.
I might. Well, let's go to a break then, and you might be off your phone by the end of it. The world. It's a weird place. My name is Stuart Buckland, and some guests and I are going to look at all the weird stuff that happens in this world of ours. Is that suitably vague enough for you? Bit weird, but fair enough, I guess. Find this podcast wherever you listen to other podcasts. Welcome back. Monty, you found a sport during the week that you would have included in your funny sports from last week, but you want to tell me a little bit about it now?
Yeah, I don't know where this came up, but I saw it and I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. I just want to read you the beginning bit and why So I read this little teaser and I thought this could be the best team ever.
Sport?
Bossaball, best sport ever. Bossaball, Bossaball, is a ball game between two teams, combining elements of volleyball, football, gymnastics and music into a new sport. It is played on an inflatable court. That's all I read, and I was like, I'm into this.
I almost don't want to hear more in case it ruins my visual images.
Well, the thing is, it's ruined. I looked it up, and it's shit house. It's a shit sport. I mean, it's a good concept, but it's shit sport.
Country of origin?
I'm going to go Spain, but I'm guessing like one of those party islands of Spain. It seems to really be like a beach kind of club sport.
Is this Franco approved, this sport?
Ah, no, Franco's flip-flopping around in his grave. I don't know if he likes this. Franco left one good thing that I quite liked about Spain. Franco made them, every restaurant in the country had to offer a menu del dia, which was an affordable menu of the day.
Right.
So it was a 3-course meal that anyone would be able to afford.
Right.
And it is held over until now. So every restaurant you go to has one thing that they have to make for real cheap every day.
Right.
And that's a really good way to eat when you're over there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it just a bit of slops from...
No, it's usually good. It's like, this is the cheapest thing we could... Here we go. This is... So, they got good marketing for it. I tipped in about Bossaball. Ever wanted to experience the fluid movements of capoeira, or do you prefer beach volley? ? I don't think it was written by an English speaker. Are you a soccer fanatic, or do you consider yourself more as a fancy dance floor shaker?
Just cut to somebody grabbing the floor and trying to move it around.
Well, you will certainly feel challenged by Bossaball, a sports game that has to be seen and played to be believed. Bossaball is a ball game between two teams combining elements of volleyball, football, gymnastics and capoeira. It is played on an inflatable court featuring a trampoline on each side of the net.
Why is this written like an advertorial? Do you mind?
I feel like they're trying to sell it.
Why? What, the idea of it?
Another part of this that's not written by an English speaker is they continually talk about how it's played in a different gravity setting to normally games. The change in gravity combined with the safety provided by the inflatable surface allows a whole new range of techniques, team tactics and strategies. It was Philip Eichmans, a Belgian living in Spain.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to try as best I can to visually tell you what it looks like now. And everyone at home, just go look it up.
Is this through your eyes or through the eyes of a Belgian Spaniard?
I'll give you the Belgian Spaniard first, the Banyard, and then we can look at how it looks for me. It is... So on either side of a quite high volleyball net is two circular trampolines. The circular trampolines are encased by an inflatable floor.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, there's one guy on each trampoline and about 6 people surrounding him on the inflatable floor.
Okay.
There appears to be speakers connected to corners of it. I don't know what they're for, but it's the music element that they keep talking about.
Right.
And the trampoline guys are continually bouncing. The other ones appear to be trying to hit the ball to the trampoline guy, who then hits it over.
Spikes it over.
Yeah.
Right.
What I found from watching it is you cannot defend against the spikes, the super trampoline spikes. So whoever doesn't serve appears to win the point.
Right.
Look, the court looks good. The game, it just looks like it's not competitive. Like it would just be one of those things where you can't really...
It's just not practically kind of...
Do you remember that slam ball? Do you remember slam ball?
Vaguely.
Basketball with a trampoline where the key is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to stop that because too many people were breaking their arms and legs.
Yep.
I think trampoline sports, other than trampolining, aren't going to do so well.
Well, slam ball forgot the inflatable element. That's why they didn't
You need more inflate.
Yeah.
But enough about Bossaball. Last week I told you I was going to tell you about Australian ice hockey.
Yeah, please.
I found some interesting stuff. I looked it up, found out some more stuff about it. So, Australian Ice Hockey League. That's the modern iteration. The AIHL. Started in 2000.
Yeah.
However, that one's boring. It's fine. It's whatever, fine, whatever. But the AIHL is based on really giving out the Goodall Cup. The Goodall Cup. The Goodall Cup is the third oldest trophy, hockey trophy given in the world.
Right.
First given out in 1908. We were playing
ice hockey
in Australia in 1908.
Wow. Nationally? Surely not.
The majority of it first was state of origin between Victoria and New South Wales.
Wow.
Yeah, but the great thing is the way it started, which led me on to another awesome thing, was it pretty much all started because Sydney opened a place in 1908 called the Sydney Glaciarium. Or Glaciarium, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It was the third ice rink in this hemisphere, I believe.
Okay. Well, there was 2 in South Africa.
I don't know. So they had all these people, going ice, people loving it, right? And then the first time they decided to play hockey was they were like, oh, there's an American fleet in. Right, fleet of sailors.
Yeah, let's get them on.
Let's have a go at them.
Yeah,
with
hack their legs.
With the 6 best people who come to the Glaciarium, just regular punters.
Yeah,
They're like, you're pretty good, mate. Yeah, hold this stick. Also, so the Americans hadn't played hockey for 3 years, and we didn't have pucks in Australia.
Yeah.
We used a large wooden disc.
Oh wow.
And the Americans brought their own sticks, which were they just made very large hockey sticks. We went up 1-0 in the first half, but then lost 5-1 in the second half.
Well, I don't suppose you can get much rink action on a ship.
No, not for 3 years apparently. The fleet then visited Melbourne, pumped them too. The puck was a disc made of wood, and they played with 5 people and 5 people the whole game. They must have been very tired.
Right. But games lasted 2 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah, games lasted like nothing. So after that, we just decided, and that's when they gave out the Goodall Cup. They were like, let's keep doing it. And so we started Victoria versus us. Did that for ages.
Victoria versus New South Wales?
Yeah. We'd play any American who came into town, pretty much.
Hey, can you tell me where the harbour is? Where's the harbour?
Yeah, mate, play me in ice hockey first. If you win, I'll tell you.
I heard someone's accent. I heard that black bloke's got an American accent.
That guy's got an American accent. And then so we had an iteration in the 70s and 80s where we had not really a national competition, but Queensland would play New South Wales. New South Wales would also play Victoria. And then I think from about mid-80s onwards, we started trying to make our own league.
How cost-effective was this?
Not very. It's a very expensive sport to play.
Yeah.
Because you got to get all the gear and
maintain the rinks.
Garb, yeah.
Maintain
exactly.
the rinks is my concern.
Maintain the rinks. It's a pretty quality-looking trophy we give out, though.
Holy
It's a big one. Yeah. It was donated by your boy John Edward Goodall.
John Edwards.
Sure. Oh, wow. There's a replica one at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
Right.
Cool. And also the other thing I found out about was this one dude who seems to be our Gretzky.
Australian Gretzky, imagine that.
Greg Oddie.
Yeah?
Greg Oddie, bro. Seems like Greg Oddie did all right. He has all-time goals in Australian ice hockey, all-time assists in Australian ice hockey, all-time points in Australian ice hockey, but is not even on the list of all-time points per game. That's a bunch of foreigners. Do you understand ice hockey points?
Let's pretend I don't.
2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist.
Oh, okay.
And an assist can be one of the 2 passes leading to the goal. These points are not scored other than anything except your career.
Right, oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My favourite was the guy who's third place on all-time assists and third place on all-time goals, Vladimir Rubes. Guy's all right. Other than that, not much to tell you. But yeah, so points per game.
Hang on, what I want to know is, all right, let's go back to the future, if you don't mind me saying.
That's good.
Well, you were telling me, tell me some of the teams that we got now.
Okay, I'll tell you all the teams we got now. I think there's only 6 in the league.
But one of them's Gold Coast?
No, remember Gold Coast folded?
Right,
That's
okay.
why we were...
Gold Coast teams don't fold.
No, right. Okay, so here's a timeline of like what team. So at the start, there was only Adelaide, Avalanche, Canberra Knights and the Sydney Bears.
Right.
Then you got the Melbourne Ice. Good name.
Come on.
Newcastle North Stars.
Newcastle get a go.
The Sydney Ice Dogs.
Ice Dogs.
That's
Wow,
my guess.
that's all
Central Coast Rhinos.
right. Central Coast get a go.
Gold Coast Blue Tongues. Adelaide Adrenaline.
So 2 Adelaide teams.
Melbourne Mustang. Well, what's the other one?
You said that Adelaide...
Oh, Avalanches. No, they had folded by that
Oh, right,
time.
okay.
I think they became the Adrenaline. Melbourne Mustangs, Perth Thunder, and the Canberra Brave.
So I was going to say 2 Canberra teams, but I've assumed the first one folded as well.
Yeah, Canberra Knights folded. The second one, the Canberra Brave, is still going. Smash it.
All right. The most important question of all.
Yeah.
Why don't we ever hear about this? Talk about things making the bloody news.
Yeah. You're right.
Why don't we
I've
hear
heard more
our
about
hockey?
Sam Kerr than this.
All right. Well, that might do us for this week, Monty. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, did we get any questions from our audience?
No, we don't have much of an audience yet.
Oh,
So if you are an audience, let us know that you're there.
an audience of ours.
Yeah. Potentially, there's no reason not to follow the socials and just say, hello, I don't have anything to say other than I'm here.
Here I am
Yeah.
here.
And I've listened all the way through
I'm
this
here.
point.
Here I am here.
Yeah. I heard the bit you did at the end.
I did.
I
hear that.
acknowledge that you want some idea of who's there. I'm here.
Even just send an emoji of your hand up.
Yeah.
Almost like you'd put your hand up, you say, yes, I'm present.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone will do it, though.
Neither do I.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
You need tissue, do you, mate?
Yeah. Ooh, hello.
Do you often speak in an arousing way to the snot you've just ejected from your nose?
I do.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher, and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu,
I'm Rachel.
and we are fans
Obsessives might be the word.
of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
Lived it.
We lived it, we were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.